Yeah, I suppose because it's developed over the years, actually, because it is years now, and it's become of interest to me as well. It's kind of helps me with my own work, in that I've got a number of things that I've done that I wouldn't have done if it hadn't been for your little enterprise. Little enterprise. I mean, I've got a number of themes that it just wouldn't have come about if I hadn't thought, I better produce something for Andrew. I'm no good at making stuff up on the hoof. I know you say I am, but I'm not. What I do is I take things that I've already got in the pipeline and bring them to the table and see if anything that you've done will fit with them. That's my strategy. I'll tell you now.
But we have found that often things do fit.
Yeah.
A tune that somebody's got will fit a lyric.
Yeah.
Why is that working?
Well, there's only Western music is predicated on groups of 3 or groups of 4 usually, unless you want to go clever and do groups of 5 or 7 time or something. But we don't do that a lot, and most lyric writing occurs in groups of 3 and 4. So it's not unnatural, really, that you can find a lyric to fit a piece of music. Because in a way they're two sides of the same coin. Music writing and lyric writing are very much part of the same thing. I always do the two pretty much in consort together when I write. Sometimes I do the music first and then the lyric, and sometimes I do the lyric and then make some music to it. Sometimes I get the one without the other. I don't know. I never know what's going to come, really.
So it's pretty random, really, but it all works. There isn't a particular system you follow?
No. If I get hold of a nice riff that seems to have like a bit of a hook in it, then I think I'll keep working on that. I'll just keep pummeling away at it, twisting it about.
So show us, what are the first stages of looking for a riff?
Well, I was just rambling around on the piano the other day and I came across the thing that goes on. Up 5. Kick in it, like a little jazzy kick in it, yes. And there's something there that I can work on and develop.
But you've got no words at all?
Not at the moment. Oh yeah, I have. I noted some down the other day.
And did they come from the riff?
Yeah, kind of. They came in a dream actually, but I was playing the piano in a dream, playing that, but in a different rhythm, and it goes, never cross the ocean, never get to you, never see my children, no matter what I do.
So there's a repetitive in the concept of the lyric?
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like occupying 3 beats of the available 4. The 4th beat is like blind, It's just
so you kind
musical.
of like in the lyric is suggesting you're not getting anywhere, and the sound kind of goes on and on and on. So you're getting a kind of mood in the lyric that's coming from the sound. Yeah,
kind of waiting for something to arrive, waiting for something to happen.
Yes.
Yeah, yes. I guess so, yeah. I mean, there might be more to it. It might, sometimes you do things and they're a cul-de-sac. It doesn't go anywhere and you forget about it. But then maybe it comes back years later. I still work on things that I wrote 20 years ago and more.
Yes.
Which is an odd thing, really.
One of the things I found exciting for the musicians and singers on the day is there's a lot of choice of lyric, of other musicians to work with, of singers, of different rooms to go to. Do you think
that is what's good? Yeah, that is what's really good about it. That you can find like a little conclave of people, a bit like electing the Pope, isn't it? And and it's a bunch of people that you can get on with. You're not precious with each other. You're not trying to impress each other or anything like that.
Yes.
You're just exploring and just seeing what you can do together. Which is that works well. That is so good.
And that's something you wouldn't be doing at home.
No, not really. I mean, I work with Pete quite a lot, We have little sessions sometimes late on in the night when we play crazy music, Improvised, crazy music.
But some of your riffs might come out of some of the stuff you do with Pete.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I guess it all comes from the same place, really.
Do you think, in a sense, you invent with your hands?
Yeah. Yeah, the mind doesn't have an awful lot to do with it. It's a very visceral thing. It's very to do with the body and just the way the body wants to move. And some people dance. I can't dance, but I let my body dance, I suppose, on a fiddle or a piano or what have you.
Yes. Do you I was thinking about this thing of the muscles. What, you play stringed instruments as well?
Yeah.
Do you invent riffs on them too?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm always feeding back from one instrument to another. Always. Quite often, the way I put it is that the playing of one instrument informs another. So I play pieces on the piano that I actually made up on the fiddle.
Right.
And so on, you know.
What are the big differences between inventing stuff on a stringed instrument and on the piano?
Well, you can linger on a note on a fiddle an awful lot longer, or you can just play.
Have you got a fiddle there that you could just show us?
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah. Or you can also play very, 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 very quick. You know, you can play like dance music on a fiddle. You know, sort of. Here we are. I'll get this off.
So you're saying you can go much slower and much faster on the fiddle?
Yeah. I suppose it's just a matter of inclination. I mean, I had a piece that I made up on a fiddle a long time ago, and it started out just because it's a riff to make sure the fiddle's in tune. Just like that, just the arpeggio up the chords. Like that.
Yeah.
And then I went. Just kind of rounded it off and made a tune.
Lovely.
It completes, which is the kind of tune we call the slip jig. I then took that back to the piano, changed the key for some reason, I don't know quite why I changed the key, and produced it on the piano. Then the second part. And so on round. So I ended up with a piece of music that I'd actually conceived in one area, moved it, and then moved it again.
Yes.
You know.
That's wonderful. And
And that's the way it works sometimes. If you can't come up with anything new, you take something old and give it a new suit of clothes, you know.
yes, your interest in mathematics, how does that evidence itself more on the piano?
Oh, I think so, yes. Yes, yeah, because music. Music's very symmetrical. There are very high degrees of symmetry in music, both in repeated phrases and also in the. Yeah, I'm not very up in the mathematical languages of symmetry, but there are a lot of degrees of symmetry in a piece of well-constructed music. That's one of the reasons that it sounds so satisfying. Bach, for example, because there's a high degree of symmetry in it. You'll get a phrase, and then he'll make another phrase that's like it and take it off somewhere, and then another one, and then he'll curl it back into the first one. You know, it's a kind of... Yeah, it's a kind of symmetry. It's a fractal kind of symmetry. Good music.
I always think of piano roll and that kind of amazing thing of all those circles punched in the paper.
Yeah, you can see there's a pattern in
You
there.
can see them, yes.
Yeah, same as in printed music. If you look at printed music, you can quite often see, like similar shapes of phrases in the bass, in the treble, from one end of a composition to the other. So,
Yes.
Again, it's symmetry that's
Have you ever thought of composing something which is actually...
completely asymmetrical.
Well, no, that there was, that was, let's say, alternate violin and piano.
Oh, you mean taking a note,
So if
taking
you
a phrase on each one?
Yes, if you kept the violin under your chin and you had the bow on a little rest, so that you could move very easily between the two.
I don't know.
It would be interesting,
Yeah.
because they are such different things, aren't they?
I'll break under there. There's a weird kind of scale. That's very unsymmetrical. That's more modern music. That's like something that terrible Schoenberg would have done. It's what we call an augmented scale.
It's not very pleasant.
No, it's not pleasant, but it's very filmic.
You mean you'd rather be watching something at the same time so you didn't have to listen to it?
Yeah, or I might be describing something, but if you do introduce a note in it that's not in the whole tone scale, it really sticks out. once you've got the whole tone scale. And then you put in a note that is not in that scale, it really stands out.
Yes.
And it gives it like a different colour, you know. I mean, if you just played that note with ordinary notes that belong with it, like, and then play it with its whole tone scale notes, you know, so you know, it gives you a kind of chord, a chord shift that you wouldn't normally think of.
It gives you, the listener, confidence that you actually meant to play that awful note.
Yeah. I mean, it's cheeky, really, you know. In fact, I've just thought of that thing. You know, I might use that. In fact, I probably will. I will use that. You know, I mean, it's an irritating chord change.
Yes.
It's irritating. Again, it belongs more to film music than it does to a piece of music.
As you said, it's just like describing something that's happening.
It's not sedative, in effect, you know. It's a bit like taking.
So where have your interest in violin and in piano, to what famous styles of music are you attracted to?
Oh, that's a very good question, really. I mean, when it comes to Bach, I don't think you can beat that Elliot Gould. He plays the...
Oh, he's fantastic.
He's a very disciplined sort of player. He doesn't try and beautify it. He just gives it you very, very stark, you know. He doesn't try and smooth it out.
Well, he continues the mathematical idea of it, doesn't
I think he is a bit of a mathematician. I suspect he might be a bit dyslexic or something. He's got that sort of a... Is he dead now? Is he still with us?
I don't know, he must be dead.
I think he's been around for years.
I know.
Yeah, perhaps he's not around anymore. And then, of course, the great traditional fiddlers of the Irish and Scottish traditions. They're all my heroes, you know.
So play something that's typical that you like on the fiddle.
Okay. Yeah, that's a kind of Irish reel, or you get ones that go. Things like that.
Yes, and on the piano.
Well, I wouldn't play those. I wouldn't play those tunes on the piano, but you just play the accompaniment. You know, that 1 2 1 2 1 2 thing.
Yeah. But I mean, what styles of piano do you really go for? 1920s.
Yeah, I love ragtime piano. That's what I'm working on. I haven't quite got that off yet, but I like that kind of style of piano playing.
Well, imagine how much Bach would have loved ragtime.
I would have loved it. He would have loved it.
He'd gone crazy, wouldn't he?
Yeah.
He thought, why didn't I think of that?
Yes, I suppose he would. Yeah, they just didn't think of that kind of... It's not really syncopation, ragtime. It's more like playing in two time signatures at the same time. You play kind of bits with your right hand. There's a out of time signature with the left hand. You can't keep it up forever, but you know.
Is there a difference in what you do with your left and right hand according to whether you're playing fiddle or piano?
You know, the thing about me, and I think you'll find every musician will answer you the same, they don't really know what they do. There's a lovely quote in Yehudi Menuhin's autobiography, which I've been reading. He said, after having been a world-class concert violinist for a number of years, I suddenly realised I knew nothing. I didn't know what I was doing. I had to go right back to the very beginning and kind of learn it all again.
Yes.
And I think that's... You don't think about it. You don't think about what you're doing. You might think about it afterwards. Or if there's a recording, I suppose, or you can get a DVD of your own playing. You think, God, that's really, really bad fingering. Why am I doing that so badly? Or something, must improve it. But when you're doing it, you don't think about it. You just let your fingers tinkle.
So, are you finding the melody on the fiddle with your left hand?
the two hands on the fiddle and on the piano, they're so closely involved with each other that it's impossible to say. I suppose you could say that you're playing melody mainly with your right hand on the piano.
Yes.
With the fiddle, you're certainly creating the melody with your left hand, because you're stopping the strings in those places to make it.
Presumably, you're thinking about the melody as you're playing it, and the melody's coming out of your left fingers.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't. You just when you move across a string on the fiddle, you automatically move your bow to bow the next string. You don't think about that.
Yes.
You don't have to think, oh, I'm going onto the D string now, I'd better raise my right arm so that I'm bowing that string.
Yes.
It's something that just happens, and I suppose that's just years of doing it.
It's such a different
You don't think
thing.
about it.
I mean, rocking, the way one rocks one's shoulders, and the whole business of moving on a violin is so different from the piano, which is horizontal as well. I mean, that's a difference between the fiddle and the guitar.
Yeah,
the guitar is vertical.
Yes. Yes, it's a funny thing. I mean, if I have a guitar, for example, I don't have any trouble doing like what we call a classical vibrato, playing it like that.
Yes.
But I can't do it on the fiddle to save my life, like a proper violinist does. As soon as it's in that position, I find myself incapable of doing that.
Yes.
Doing that thing.
What's it like? Do you enjoy playing with the different singers and the musicians? I mean, is Alan a good fiddler?
Oh, he's lovely to work with, yeah. I mean, he's a proper... I think he can work in a lot of different styles, I mean, that tune that I made up years ago for On Your Thing, that Attila the Hun, I would have never made that up if it hadn't been for your things, I would have never made that up if it hadn't. But Alan played beautiful fiddle on the original recording of that.
Yes.
Lovely, kind of like Stefan Grappelli style fiddle. Beautiful.
Yes.
Lovely, love to hear it.
And then, I mean, I suppose Tony and Pete, of course, and Ian. It's nice having Sean with the trombone come.
Yeah, I've known Sean for years, of course. But yeah. Oh, she's a one-off Sean. She is.
And did you
She's very good. We had a very good session the other day because it was me, Pete, Ian, Sean, and I don't know the chap's name. He plays the acoustic bass.
Jamie.
Jamie, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yes, you were in the piano room. Yeah.
Well, yeah, and then we were in that little conservatory room.
Yes.
At the back of the barn, and we were doing some kind of country-based sort of stuff, and we were having a great time. Really cooking it up, It really worked.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
And John Martin's a good addition, isn't he?
No, he's not the John Martin. He's dead.
No, no. It's John Martin.
Oh, John. I know. He lives up the road here.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's lovely. Yeah, he was there as well. Yeah, he's very good.
Excellent.
Yeah. I really get on with him.
And Maria, of course, we've had for years and years and years.
Yeah.
She's pretty dependable, isn't she?
Yeah. They're all wonderful singers. When I hear these women sing, they've all been so good, really. Michaela, Maria, Kelsey, who doesn't seem to come very much anymore now.
She's trying to. Angeline.
They're all in their ways. They're all really great singers, fantastic singers. It makes me think that men just shouldn't sing, really.
It's a shame we don't have a good... Well, one is called Jordan, who is Jeff Michaela's son, and he does this wonderful percussion on his chest.
Oh, right. Like beatboxy sort of stuff. Yeah,
and he's got a good voice too, but he's away.
Oh, that would be very good, to have somebody doing something. So, that's we are working all the time in fairly, how can I put it, old-fashioned sort of formats. I mean, we might do kind of modern experimental stuff sometimes, but it's still all in, we're not doing anything that couldn't have really been done in the 1950s, really,
Yeah.
Sort of thing. It's not like modern music. We haven't got any beatboxers or like break dancers or...
What do you think about adding dancers, which we do occasionally?
Well, yeah, I think it's good. It's a balance thing. Dancers, what is that girl's name, that German girl?
Daniela.
She's a wonderful dancer. I mean, I played a little bit of kind of ragtimey stuff for her to dance to, and as soon as I started, she just picked up the rhythm I was on and got the swing of the beat and everything, just like that.
Yeah.
You know, she was just absolutely instant, and if I slowed down the pace, which pianists are liable to do, you know, just sort of draw it and drag it back, she was just there. She was right on it.
Yes.
Yeah, it was wonderful.
Do you remember when we first started 6 years ago up at Jeremy's at the barn?
Oh, yeah.
It's interesting looking back on those old tapes, which we have been doing, but the stuff we produced then is just as good as the stuff we're doing now.
Right.
It's interesting, we had, in a sense...
Is this a good thing?
I don't know. I mean, one would have thought we'd learnt to get better, but I think we've just widened what we do, dragged more people into the process.
Yeah.
But I can't think that, you've always done amazingly good stuff.
It's to do with widening, as you say, widening the net, getting more people in, so that, if it was just the same, 8 or 10 people all the time, we'd very swiftly get stale and run out of anything that felt original, But because there's almost always new people of one sort or another, it keeps it floating, keeps it frothing.
Yes, we've had cello. I hope to get a double bass for April 7th.
Oh, right.
KP's other half, he plays double bass, and he said he would hope to come.
Jolly good. Yeah, that'd be nice.
I don't think what else.
Oh, that would be great for doing some swing stuff. Have a bass in there.
Yes.
That really really propels it. And also, if you've got a bass player as a pianist, it takes the pressure off your own bass. You don't have to keep up that constant stride so much, because the bass will do some of the work for you.
Yes.
So it leaves you a bit freer to tinker.
Well, couldn't you have somebody just put a hand in and do those bass things as well on the piano?
I don't know.
We could get Eleanor or someone just to do.
I don't know, maybe.
Oh, I love that one, Dave. One of my favourites. What do we use that for? I forgot.
Oh, it's a piano piece. You see, that's another piece that I did on the guitar 25 years ago, and I've just adapted it onto the piano a bit. It's my Goodnight Rag. I always used to play when I used to do clubs and things a bit years ago. I would always play that one last. So I call it the Goodnight Rag.
Could you just do something very simple that might fit for, Teddy in Michael Mudge films? He's a sort of like bombastic character, and something pompity-pom, kind of particularly Teddy-ish could be useful.
I think we've already done that one, haven't we?
Thank you, lovely.
Yes, no, that's not exactly ragtime, that's what we call stride.
I asked Michaela about, how else we could vary and change and improve, and she thought maybe if we could get somebody with Oriental skills, we could bring something else in.
Yes, absolutely, yeah. Yeah, a lot of kind of mock Chinese music, a lot of it is played in parallel sixths, so... Parallel fourths. Yeah. Seems to come into it a bit, but they use there's different scales. You use different notes in the scale.
That's what's so challenging, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like different instruments use different tunings. You know, I mean, his instrument's in a different tuning.
Is this one you made?
Yeah, this is like a dulcimer.
Oh, you used that in the ping pong room for some round the.
Yeah, but it didn't sound very well because I didn't.
Great. That's wonderful. That was the one you played.
You know, it's got a different sound.
It's lovely. Do you like Lucia's voice? It's quite harsh. Some people find it too harsh.
It would be great for the right thing in the right context. She's a great blues singer, I think. You know.
Yeah.
But I tend to work on kind of softer, more melodic stuff.
Yes.
Oh, there was another girl there the other day, singing.
Alison, who has slight vibrato.
Yeah, she's got a really good blues voice, really good blues shouter's voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you work with Roy on the slide, that steel guitar?
I think I did one there. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That was interesting.
Yeah. That's a nice addition. And again, that's the kind of instrument you can put into different styles of music.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it goes very well in traditional music actually. Some slide or what they call pedal steel, you know, as well as in country music. But of course, you know, the classic slide guitar, that kind of is I don't know who played it for Hank Williams, but I don't think there's ever been anyone quite so good. You know, it's the sound of Hank Williams' songs really is that slide guitar.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, Dave. Thank you very much.
Oh. Thank you.